So a lot of information has recently been released by Blizzard, and needless to say the next World of Warcraft expansion is big news, but in this video I'd like to focus on the other big news, that being Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm started out as Blizzard Dota, then changed its name to Blizzard All-Stars, which is now also changed into Heroes of the Storm. The game has been in production for upwards of about 5 years now, and judging by the fact that you can sign up for the beta right now, I'd say it'll be in closed beta relatively soon. They seem to really have a working build, what with the many examples of gameplay they have shown us already. But let's put on our speculation spectacles and dive into Heroes of the Storm. So the website lists a lot of information already. The basic idea is to have players and teams fighting each other as beloved or iconic Blizzard characters. They only mention Diablo, StarCraft and Warcraft, so I guess playing as anyone from the Lost Vikings game is out of the question. Then again, everything is subject to change, so who knows. The aim for Heroes of the Storm is to make every nerd's dreams come true. You can finally put to rest the petty squabbles about which hero or villain is the more powerful one by putting them up against each other. Possibly what will attract a great number of players to this game is the fact that you can indeed play as Uther and play against Arthas, you can indeed play as Kerrigan and play against Rayner, and you can indeed play as Malfurion and go up against Illidan. It does sound very appealing to play as the Lich King and stomp people 24/7, but what worries me is that people like me are going to be the only ones that want to do this. With the hero roster basically already decided this early on, it's got one thing going for it and one thing going against it. The good news is that fans of Blizzard games will most likely have a lot of fun playing as their favourite characters from each respective universe, so they form a target audience already. It also means that they can easily and quickly add more heroes to the roster, just by taking them out of their franchises and plonking them down into the game. Balance issues aside, this is definitely easier than in League of Legends, where they have to make champions from scratch and make them appealing at the same time. The downside to this is that they may just alienate players that are strangers to Blizzard games. Admittedly, the chances of people not knowing about Blizzard are slim, but the chances of them actually knowing of or caring for specific characters from their games aren't quite as slim. Hopefully only featuring characters from Blizzard games won't put people off from playing it simply because it's a more niche thing to do than to start from scratch. You may think that this isn't a problem, as Heroes of the Storm will probably get a lot of players regardless, and I would agree. However, the growing potential would be limited to the people that know, play and or love Blizzard's three main franchises. I may be wrong, and I hope I am, but this is still something worth bearing in mind. I just hope Blizzard has already borne it in mind before or during the development of this game. Scrolling further down, we see 4 different characters placed in different categories. It looks like you'll get a high damage healer class that is allergic to high damage, a more brawler style class that can deal out damage as well as take it, the usual support class whose only purpose is to make everyone else look good, and a seemingly new class called Specialist. To quote the developer interview video, they are heroes that are designed to destroy enemy fortifications and destroy enemy troops. The video then goes on to show the Witch Doctor melt human face and wreck what appears to be a gate with 2 turrets standing on either side. Comparing to League of Legends, I'd say the pusher champions closely resemble these specialists, but I wouldn't say that they've ripped off this idea from LoL. Towns and fortifications seem to play a big part in Heroes of the Storm, and destroying them helps out your team a great deal, so it'll be really interesting to see players react to this in competitive play. If they see a player pick a siege type champion, how do they react to that? Do they focus their more heavy damage play, or do they reinforce their towns with extra defenses by guarding them personally or by possibly hiring AI troops to do so? Also, how big a benefit are we talking here? If breaking towns takes a lot of time and the rewards gained don't really put your team ahead, can you afford to even choose one of these heroes during the hero selection? The trick here is balance. If Blizzard gets it right, I can see a lot of different tactics being devised and executed in the future, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's nice to see that these specialist/pusher heroes are given a greater team purpose than in League, where their purpose is to push towers like crazy. It does seem to be like more of a team effort if one specific hero and player is busy ruining some villager's day for the rest of the team, and I'm sure this will be a very appealing role to pick. It's sort of like a jungler in League in that one specific person takes it upon himself to kill AI opponents and help the team out in the long run. Blizzard mentioned towers that provide vision though, so if these towers are located within these villages, that would give players even more incentive to pick and play this class. Blizzard seems to be taking the champions with skins route that we're used to seeing from LoL, and they've also made it known that this game will be free to play, which is nice to know. This means I'll definitely be trying my hand at it as soon as I can. They have not yet openly discussed the business model as of yet, so stay tuned for updates on that. Probably the most interesting bit of information released so far is the fact that they're effectively trying to remove KDA from the equation. KDA stands for Kills, Deaths, Assists, and are generally used to determine how well a player has been doing the entire match. They mentioned that there will be no last hitting when it comes to champions, meaning no single person will get credit for killing someone, but rather the entire team will receive rewards when an enemy player is killed. This is a huge change and departure from the conventional MOBA style games. You could compare this to an economic system with no class distinction. Everyone means the exact same and holds the exact same value, so there can technically be no poverty, or in this case a starved player. But this also means there can be no rich people or fed players. A fed player is someone who's done very well, often reflected in KDA, or one that has been spoon-fed many kills due to the enemy team's incompetence. A fed player will often function as a heavy support beam for the other members of his team, as he will be able to buy more expensive items and be a more real threat to the enemy. If there can be no starved players, this means that nobody falls behind and thus won't be a burden to anybody. But it also means there can be no fed players to make a huge difference in a game. No real tangible information has been released on this, so it's hard to speculate what this means. If the entire team levels up from a kill, won't this enlarge the divide between fed players and starved players by simply replacing the word players with team? If one team gets 4 kills and everyone levels up a total of 4 times, don't they suddenly get a huge lead over the other team? On the other hand, what if the kills don't grant enough gold or experience to the team making the kill? Wouldn't that render killing enemy players completely useless, as it wouldn't give a significant lead enough for it to make a difference? The balance in realizing this is extremely tricky. Either they get it right, or the team making the kills will roll over the enemy team in no time at all. Blizzard has also mentioned there will be no shop, meaning they're effectively making KDA redundant. You can't be fed if you can't buy expensive items. In a game called Awesome Lords, we see something similar, in that you also can't buy items in-game, however you do use the shop to buy your abilities and to upgrade them. Leveling up is only really a testament to the money you've collected and how well you're doing at that, so it'll be really interesting to see how Heroes of the Storm manages it. The developers have stated that people really like the game and showcased at the previous BlizzCons, and you can't really dislike the concept of not having a shop until you play the game and see how it works out firsthand. Scrolling even further down and reaching the end of the page, we come to the bit about the maps. Contracting AI troops to help you fight the enemy is akin to jungling in League or destroying enemy inhibitors, which causes a strong AI troop to join in the fighting in a specific location. What's more interesting though is the fact that Blizzard is already working on multiple maps, each unique in playstyle. You've got the more traditional river in the middle map, I presume, but with the added towns that should add a lot of variety and hopefully offer a lot of different tactics, as I've mentioned earlier. You've also got a map in which you're supposed to gather gold doubloons for a pirate, and he'll then help you defeat the enemy team. You can kill enemy players and steal the gold they've collected, so I'd say this is a more arena-like matchup. I don't think the towns will be featured in this mode, meaning people will make a team expecting big fights to occur regularly, and as such focus more on playing as heavy damage, heavy tanks and the like. The third map is one in which players have to collect bones and then summon a big bone monster, which will then also help you defeat the enemy team. So it seems similar to the pirate mode, only with a slightly different theme and execution. In each unique map, the goal is shifted from destroying the enemy's base to complete the overarching objective to make destroying the enemy's base easier. The bone monster and the ghost pirate both help you fight your enemy team, so you do best to get on their good side, lest they bite you in your good side. It's too soon to tell, but from what they've told us it seems like a really interesting concept to pull off. It'll definitely be a lot different from the MOBA games currently available. Just how well received these differences will be is something for which we'll just have to wait and see. Heroes of the Storm is being developed for PC and Mac, and according to Blizzard, beta testing will begin in the first half of 2014. Make sure you're properly signed up if you're interested in playing this game. Everything is very much subject to change, hopefully rendering this analysis useless. The fun in life lies in being proven wrong long enough to see true beauty come to light. This video is meant to stir up discussion about this game, so if you have anything to add, please by all means post a comment to let me know and I'll answer it as best as I can. I have been Scaldrew, giving you a very long-winded speculative analysis on Heroes of the Storm. Have a nice day.